Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here today. I tell you, another Wednesday, midweek with the Masters. I'm so excited today about what we're getting ready to do. We're just going to have a girl talk. We're just going to come and just dialogue today on some things that we're excited about and what we're getting ready to do. And I have my special guest on with me today, but I have my co host on with me, and we're waiting on the other one to show up later on. But Deborah Glass, you know Deborah as the entrepreneur director for Greater Grace and for TDC Vision Center. And I am Apostle Diane Washington. I am the senior pastor for the Trinity Deliverance Church, where we have the Biz Hub. Amen. We are here today talking to Kim Hunt.
Yes.
And I'm so excited because I have been on so many actually I scheduled two master classes for Kim and only showed up for one day. So
We're guilty.
I just don't showed up
That's
for one
okay.
day. But that's because I had so much going on. And so I ended up scheduling too much. But I am so excited that I am back on track again. And so we're starting out this Monday. And Monday, I'm telling you, I know that we can invite some other people to come and be a part of just to come and hear the dialogue on that Monday night. So I'm going to invite Deborah, Dr. Ham, and whoever else I know to be on there because I was so excited Monday. And even though I had another meeting to go to, but they helped me so at that meeting till I missed the other one. So I so I'm excited about the information that she's going to give us today and talk to us. And gonna just jump right on into it. And what we're going to do today, we're just going to not have a flow, man. We're just going to flow. How about that, ladies?
That sounds awesome.
That
We're
sounds great to me.
we're
Yeah.
just gonna flow. Whatever comes, we're gonna do it and we're gonna hit it and talk about it. But Kim, I want you to just introduce yourself and talk about what you're doing, what you're getting ready to do, and then we're gonna let Deborah talk a little about her Ex God book. And you know, we talk about Ex God book every Wednesday, but I really want you guys to really look into getting this book. You know, it's a journal, it's a prayer book, and everything like that. But it's simple but powerful. So I want you to get it. And then I'm going to talk about later on before we close, I'm going to talk about what the Biz Hub is getting ready to do. But I'm also going to talk about our master ego planning system that we have that's going to be coming out. I'm so excited. It's like a mom who's at her ninth month getting ready to birth a baby. You know, I'm tired of carrying it. My feet is swollen, my back is hurting, and all this stuff. And I'm breathing really slow. But I feel the labor pain that I know that in 9 months something is about to happen. So I am ready to talk to you guys about the Master Eagle business system that's going to be coming out in a couple of more weeks. So Kim, talk to us
Yes.
a little about you.
Oh, let me tell you, ladies, I am just so excited to be here. And I just want to thank you, Apostle Diane Washington, and you too, Deborah Glass. Finally, we've got
Thanks.
this together.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just want to say I am definitely a woman that's passionate about changing the lives of others. And and so I know right away we were aligned when we first started talking with each other. I'm married to a phenomenal man. His name is James Hunter. I'm the mother of three sons. We have three awesome daughter-in-laws, four beautiful grandchildren.
Awesome.
And I am what I call a very highly motivated owner, and my expertise is in sales. And of course, my philosophy is God gives the increase. I started my business in my early 20s, and it's really funny because my husband and I, we started a business before we got married.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, we was living in sin. And then guess what? We went to Dallas, Texas. It's so funny because this story is so amazing. When God really wants to take hold of you, he will.
Yeah.
So we went down to Dallas, started this business, and a very good friend of ours who was in the business beauty industry with James he was one of our salespeople. Well, he was very much, into making sure that he went to church every Sunday. Now, we didn't know that Dallas was the Bible Belt. Like we're deep in the Bible Belt. So he goes to this church called Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship. And I'm like, every Sunday he would come back. Oh, you guys need to go with me. I'm like, Nathan, no, I'm not, I was in my 20s. I'm not going to church. But what I loved about Nathan, he didn't give up. And you know, that's the spirit of God when he doesn't give up.
Yes.
Every Sunday, you guys want to come with us this Sunday? Come with me this Sunday? No, Nathan, we don't want to go because I need a church that's air conditioned. They have air conditioner, and I don't want to be at a church that's passing the basket around every 5 minutes. Oh, no, they don't do that. They have one offering and then a special offering, but it's not, I know what you mean. And everything I asked him, he had an answer for. I said to my husband, okay, let's go. Let's just go. I guess we'll go and check it out. We don't have anything to do this Sunday. So we got dressed. We went and everything. Even Nathan was saying, yeah, you don't have to be dressed up. You know, you really can come as comfortable as you want. Well, I met Pastor Tony Evans.
Yes, sir.
That is his church.
Wow.
Okay. And that's
was
all that we had to say.
That was it.
He got a hold of me, the spirit, really, when God wants to move you, he knows how to move you because he already knows who we are, right?
Yes.
He knows us from the beginning to the end,
Yes.
from the inside out, when we were in our mother's womb,
Yes.
Yeah.
when he placed us there.
Yes.
And that, you know, my husband and I, that's when we gave ourselves to the Lord. We accepted Jesus Christ as our personal savior.
Come on now.
And, you know, it has been so amazing because we can really see how God really works.
Yes.
And that's why I said, you know, God gives the increase.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you really have to be a believer of that because, as you know, as Mr. Dudley always says, in the valley of decision,
Yes.
God is near.
Yes.
So we were in our 20s and we had the opportunity, probably after 8 months we were there, we had our own product line. So it wasn't ours, but we was given an exclusive distributorship. And with that exclusive distributorship, we had the opportunity to really build a business. And we did over $250,000 in 8 months.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Now, we didn't know at that time the power of God.
Yeah.
Okay. We had just become, we were like baby Christians, like real baby. We were there every Sunday. And, you know, my prayer was like, God, just use me. I don't even know what this is all about.
Yeah.
And he did.
Mm.
He really did. Hence, we met Mr. Dudley. Of course, you know, Dr. Joel Dudley Sr., just the amazing things that he and Mrs. Dudley have done. We ended up having a territory. We ended up getting brought into the corporate office. We worked on the management team. I actually had the opportunity to work with Joe Dudley Jr. and we actually built a division of the sales team. And so I became the sales trainer for Dudley Products at some point. And so, you know, a little more about that is my philosophies, my actions, my beliefs, my successes, and my failures are all based on how I really conduct business. And a lot of what I have achieved is really based on integrity. Really got, you know, if you can base your business on integrity, it will take you a long way.
Yes.
And so, you know, as a result of that, I had the opportunity, you know, working with Mr. and Mrs. Dudley, I learned how to make a difference. I learned how to be a bridge builder. I learned how to overcome setbacks and setbacks in spite of the abuse and the abandonment that I had in my young life. You know, I learned how to change my attitude. Because when you can, as Mr. Dudley would teach us, if you can change your attitude, you can really change your life. And one of the things, Deborah, you know, and Diane, I know you've always heard Mr. Dudley talk about, don't add loss to loss. Do not add loss to
That
loss.
makes so much sense.
And yeah, and you know, I've been working here at Dudley Products, back here with Mr. Dudley. He's now, the Dudley Products is a second generation company. His daughter runs that. And what we're working on now is, as you've been invited to, Diane and Deborah, we have the I Am, I Can, and I Will,
Yes.
which is based on Mr. Dudley's book, Walking by Faith. We did the I Am, I Can, and I Will leadership course. I think we did that December, January, and February. We took the month of March off, and now we're doing the I Am, I Can, and I Will millionaire mindset.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
When did that start?
That started Monday, April 5th.
Monday. Okay.
Yes, we had our first class. It's a 12-week course. And we do a graduation. And it is so much fun.
Is it
You
too
get a
late to get in that class?
It is not too late to get in the class.
Okay. You want to tell us the cost?
I can tell you the cost. The cost is $495.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a payment plan. If you choose to do the payment plan is $559.95.
Okay.
And
Like
in that,
monthly or
well, I work it out.
you
You know,
work it
one of
with
the things that Mr.
individual?
Dully
Okay.
always taught us to do, you work it out with the person,
Yeah.
because you never know the challenge or the struggle that somebody might be going through.
That's right.
And if you're serious about your business, you'll make the investment. It's an investment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So we
you're
have some people that pay up front, and they get the benefit of the $495.95. But then we have people that it's a payment plan. Some people want it monthly, some want it weekly, some want to just divide it in two.
Mhm.
But it also, unlike the other class, this class does include the course materials.
Okay.
And one of the things that we'll be working on, this is why you want to get in this week. Joe Dudley Jr. actually wrote a book, and he calls it, if you can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. What's my e-style?
Yeah. Now, E-style is your entrepreneurial personality.
Okay.
And once you learn your entrepreneurial style, what happens is that, you don't want to hire someone that's just like you.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times that's kind of where we kind of sometimes butt heads. But he shows you how you'll hire to your weaknesses.
Mhm.
Now, that's not a bad thing. It's not like if they're a weak person, but take somebody like me. The details, I'll have piles of work when it comes to getting to the paperwork.
Mhm.
So I will need to hire somebody that loves that type of work.
Yes.
That's what they do. They're right to it. They're not really going to be that person that wants to talk a lot on the telephone, but they are just as great at their job
Yes.
as I am at mine.
Yeah.
And so for the next 2 weeks, Joe Dudley Jr. is going to be coming on. I'm giving you a sneak peek, Diane. He's coming on, and we're going to be getting right into this book here.
Oh, wow. That's going to be
Very,
exciting.
very exciting. And there are 9 different types of personalities.
Woo! Woo!
I give for instance, I'm the super achiever. But you have the business professionals, the designers, the directors, the explorers, the guiding lights, the negotiators, the people pleasers, the performers, and the super achievers.
Wow.
And he's going to take your top 3. Okay. And then your top 2 usually can go, you could go back and forth with 1 or 2. But then of those 9, there are people that are a solid match for you that you should have on your team just based on the type of business that you have, right down to who's the perfect administrative assistant for you.
Yes. Absolutely.
Very, very exciting.
Very important too.
It's exciting, and it's right what I need at this point in my life. I really need that because I'm ready to go back and to open up the franchise, the pizza franchise. But I'm not the person who will do the operation every day. That's not me. I can't do it. I can't sit there. Yes, I know how to make pizza. Yes, I know how to work the cash register, but that's not me. It drives me crazy to do that and to be there. So I need to find that person, I need to find that person that I can trust, that I can have. And I think that's one of the things too, is that when you are in leadership position, is that you got to find that person that you can trust with your baby. That's your baby, that's your heart. And you got to find somebody that have that compassion that you can trust to run that, to operate that, So yeah, I'm ready to learn that. I'm ready to look forward. I'm looking forward to that.
Well,
Definitely.
here's what else is exciting. And Deborah, you asked the cost. We may have some people that just want to take those 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And for anybody that just wants to do those 2 weeks there, then that cost will be $99.95. And you'll
That
get,
makes
again, you'll get the book, but you'll also get, Joe is going to be getting right in depth with what's your style and who is it that you will need according to your style. And what we have people doing is actually writing out, listing who do they need in their business. And then you have to do the job description. And
And that
based on the
makes sense.
job description, you'll
Yeah.
know what you need.
Yeah,
That's-
because everybody's coming in at different levels. Some people are at the beginning, or they're starting their business, or they haven't gotten to that point where they really have some things figured out, and then others are coming at a different level. So I thank you all for considering that, both options. And I think we got Dr. Ham that just came on that just, we want to at least greet her and welcome her to the Biz Hub. You look pretty. You look like your mayor over there in Atlanta. I know you do. They look like you could be her sister.
I get that all the time.
All the time.
Thank
Very
you.
pretty.
Thank you. And hello to everybody. Listen, I was just taking in all of the great information that Miss Kim was sharing, and it's awesome. This is awesome. And I'm excited about that E-myth. I'm gonna have to get that book. Definitely.
Now there's E-myth, which is Michael
the E-personality. That's why I said, look, that automatic claim. The E-style. I need my E-style.
You need your E-style. Yes, Dr. Ham. Yes. And we would love to have you on next Monday.
Great.
Yeah, I said I'm gonna have to invite you guys to come on next Monday so y'all can be a part of that the class, and then see whether or not you want to go further with it, and because I'm excited also about Dr. Ham. Just go ahead and talk a little about what you're getting ready to do. I'm excited about that. She's getting ready to launch something at the end of the month. And I tell you, it's just, I've been waiting. We've been waiting for, I don't know how long, but now it's finally here. And she's getting ready to launch it. And I'm excited about what she's getting ready to do.
Well, thank you. And I'm excited too. And I have Financial Boss Academy, and for about the last 12, 13, I think this year we're celebrating 13 years. We have been educating and empowering people in the way of financial multiplication, not just financial management. And so I'm excited about our new baby that we're getting ready to launch the end of this month, which is the 5-day money workout. And what the 5-day money workout is about is helping us build our financial muscles and dominate our lifestyle. And I like what Kim was saying earlier. Everybody is at a different place, a different phase in their lives. And I think a lot of times what we see in the business arena now is everybody's after the dollar. And so those people that can't do that oftentimes get left behind. And I have a heart for people being able to grow from wherever they are and obtaining and achieving whatever their heart desire is. So with this 5-day money workout, it gives us an opportunity to help people build their financial muscles, regardless of what their income level is, regardless of what their current financial status is. We're going to help them set the goals that they need to create wealth. And we want to take the focus away from the negative, not so fun side of money, because nobody likes budgeting. And so a lot of people, the majority of people, are in an avoidant state or a denial state when it comes to their finances. And we want to come and wake up some millionaires. So we're calling them emerging millionaires. And that's who our target market is. Those who know that there's more, know that they want more, but they just need a structured system to help them to be able to develop whatever their goals are. So we're excited about the 5-day money workout. And of course, we'll be getting more information to you, Apostle Diane, on how people can connect to that and get enrolled.
I'm excited. And so Deborah, now I'm gonna go ahead and we can just start talking about ask God, because you know what, and everything that we do and what Kim is doing and what Dr. Ham is doing, we know who we need to put at the center of all that.
Yeah.
We can't do any of that or accomplish anything that they're getting ready to share with us and get ready to take us to. I think in this time in life that we're pivoting and going forward and doing other things is the one thing that we cannot do is leave God behind.
That's right.
You know, anything that we're going to do in this season, you got to put him at the foundation of everything that we're getting ready to do. So tell us how Ask God came about.
Well, Ask God came about because I asked God after I retired from Ford Credit for 30 years. I got to retire at 47. I started when I was in high school. So I had always prayed that I would be able to come out 30 years and out. And to me, it was really like a sentence. I got early parole. Now, keep in mind, the job was really fabulous for people who wanted a job, but I think it was the entrepreneur spirit in me that just saw it as, you know, somebody controlling my life. The glass ceiling, the politics, the racism, all of that came with it. I wanted out. I didn't want to be a part of that. And most of the time I was there, I really was fighting for Blacks to get the same opportunity as the white people there, because I came during a time when there were very few white people there. Okay. So I was challenging them to get, you know, give us the same options that they were given. So most of my time was not there climbing the corporate ladder. It was really fighting against the injustice that was there. And because I didn't care about the job, I really didn't want it anyway. My mother made me take it. I didn't care about getting fired. So I was bold, you know, because I mean, most people wouldn't do what I did because they didn't want to lose their job. I was like, fire me, you know, so I can move on, because my mother wouldn't let me quit. So I never got fired. In fact, the people who kept saying Deborah's going to get fired were the ones that got fired. And I was the one to be able to make the change and have them bring us up to the same levels as the Caucasian people, have us get the same, you know, hire us in, all of that. The whole 30 years was going in the lawsuit, coming out, or going into another one. So I was wore out by those 30 years. I was really ready to go. And I asked God, please just let me, you know, free me, and I'll do what you would have me to do. And when I did that, my question was this. I said, you know what? I have always been a person who believed in justice for us. And it wasn't against anybody, because I've had very good relationships with whites as well as Blacks. And I've had whites that helped me more than even the Blacks when I was fighting for the same thing, equal opportunity. I had managers who were pushing for me to do it. Okay. So I had whites on, and I had Blacks sitting back saying, Deborah gonna get fired, and thinking it was funny. And I'm fighting for them. You understand? So it wasn't a thing that I was doing to, you know, enhance myself. It was what I was called to do. And because of that, once it was over with, I was like, Lord, I just want to do whatever you would have me to do. But I believe this is one thing I do believe. I don't believe you made us less than anybody. I believe that you have given us the same gifts, talents, and abilities. And I knew after 30 years of working with us, our biggest challenge was we didn't believe in ourselves, because I can tell you, they are no smarter. They don't do things better. Their ice isn't colder. And all of the things that we believe about ourselves, that was where I felt like we were lacking. And I worked hard on trying to help us see that. And many of them did. Many of them, you know, got to the point where they saw themselves as the, you know, the person that God had valued them to be. So my question was, what are you giving us to help us as a people to raise up? Because, you know, the Italians have something, the Chinese, just every ethnic group has something that helps them economically to pull up and to move forward. What is it that you have given us? And that's when he gave me the hair product that I invented. So I said, okay, fine. This isn't for me, because I don't care nothing about no hair. I don't wear no weave. I ain't trying to wear no weave. But if this is what we're going to work with, it is a good industry to be involved in. And that was my daughter-in-law. She was wearing hair extensions. Her hair was breaking off. And I just said, let me figure out a way to fix it for her. And it evolved from that. So fast forward, because I went into an industry I had no knowledge of, I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I fixed it for her, and it opened up the door for me to, you know, patent a product, invent it, and do all of that. But I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any mentors. So I had to, and it's funny because I have this list. I don't even know if you can see it. This is how I started off, a piece of paper like this, and it would have about this many questions on it. Of just going to him and saying, well, Lord, what do you want me to do about this company? How you want me to start my website? I just went to him for everything. Everything became a question on a piece of paper. And he started answering. And because he started answering, I kept using that method. So then I got a little more fancier and came up with, okay, well, I can at least start a binder with that, just going to him and asking him and writing it down. Because when he gave me my answers, he told me, put your answers in red. So if you can see here, this book is full of nothing but requests and answers in it from God. So then that's how I got started, that I just started using that method. And it took me all the way to where I could really get the product out. And then I got even more fancier when I met Miss Diane Washington, because when I met her, I was using this. And because she had a publishing company and I shared with her what I was using, she said, well, let me see if we can help you with that. And so I have to say, this baby has grown, okay? It's no longer infinite, okay? But this is the actual book that she produced, helped me, got it published. But the thing is that when you put your request to God, you ask for it in the black ink, which says ask God. But when he gives you your answers, you go back and you put in red ink. I don't know if you can see that, God's answers. And it's so simple, but all it is just requesting and then recording. And we're taught to ask God or journal, but we never go back and journal how he has brought us out of some things. And sometimes we only remember, we know we got out of it, but we just don't know how we got out of it. And this really is a way for you to always give God thanks for what he's done. And don't just ask, but go back and acknowledge what he's done. And you've done it when you have it in writing, okay? And so I've started teaching this method to my grandkids, and I can't tell you the number of people who have come back and told me how this book has blessed them. So I want people to know this is a tool. If you're a believer, this is a tool that can help you create a habit of going to God. We often want to go to our pastors or go to people, and those people are in just as much trouble, if not more, than you are. And you think they can help you, but they're trying to keep their head above water as well. And sometimes we take it personal because we really think that's who we're supposed to go to. But you know what? God is really who we're supposed to come to. He says, come boldly to him, and he's unlimited resources, and he knows better than anybody what we need to do next and who he connecting us with and who's the next person that can help us get over that hurdle. So I just think it's such a great tool to have, just so that when anytime something come up and I can't help, I go right to my ask God, okay, God, I need help. What you want me to do about this? And I always get an answer. But I think it's created such a habit. That's my go-to now. That's my go-to.
And I think that
it.
should be, I think that should be our go-to. A lot of time we go to other people who not experienced in business at all. And that's one of the things I want to talk to you, I want to put the question out there. I want you guys to kind of like answer that, is that, do you feel like if you're in business, do you feel like that you need a coach? You need somebody who have been that trailblazer in your industry. Do you feel like you need a coach, or do you feel like you are an entrepreneur and you need to just go it along? So I'm gonna let Kim start out.
I believe in coaches. It's so much to the point that I not only coach people, but I have coaches as well. I'll give you a great example. And this is a young lady that I would love to have come on and talk about our time. There's 3 things we waste: time, money, and food. And we need all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Now, what we don't realize is money and food, we got a pretty good handle on, and we can get that. You lose money, then you go to Dr. Ham and you hire a coach, a money coach.
Right.
Because the truth about it is, no matter, I've hired someone to coach me in my budget. And the things that I learned, there were line items. She goes, okay, well, you like to go and get your nails done monthly. That's a line item.
That's right.
And then she would give me things like, well, you need a date night line item. You need a girls' night out line item. So every little thing, other than all the big things that we, the house, the car note, the gas, those all things that we take for granted, but it was those little things. So I hired a money coach. She was called a credit woman, but she really focused on your budget, because if you didn't have your budget together, it didn't matter, about getting your credit together. You're still going to spend money. So we got that under control. I hired Kimmy Williams. She's an accountability coach. And what she does, she says, here's what we have. You have Your goal that starts in January and it ends in December. But what about everything in between? What I find is that people aren't putting on the calendar, how are you going to reach those goals? You've got the goal in mind, you've got the end in mind, but it's the in between that's got to get you to the goal, to the completion. So she gets your goals on the calendar, and she takes your three most important areas of your life. Now you includes your spirituality and everything. It's you, then your family. She said, I'm not talking about James and the kids. You got to take care of you first, because it's like the oxygen mask.
That's
If
right.
you don't reach the oxygen mask and you're not getting the oxygen, everybody's dead.
Everybody did.
You, your family, and then your work. And we get it all on the calendar, and we meet every single Saturday. Now, in turn, many of the people that are part of the courses and the classes, they get a half-hour of coaching with me or with James, and at some points with Dr. Dudley. And so the coaching is a necessity. If you think of any football team or basketball team or athletes, and even as Mr. Dudley said, he always had a coach. You have your coaches, you have your mentors. His mentor was S.B. Fuller, but Mr. Dudley always hired coaches. And the bigger the business got, the more coaches you hire, because now it becomes specialized. And so I definitely believe in the coach. And Deborah, I'll be definitely want to hear more about your journal.
Yeah.
Because it's so important, again, to have a track record, to see where you've started and where you've finished, but it's the in between. As I mentioned, Mr. Dudley always says, in the valley of decision, God is near. What are you listening to?
And that's when you really, really need them, because everybody is with you when things look great.
Great. That's
and when they think the money's gonna come in, they're all there because they see this as the big vision. And yeah, I'm a part of it. But when things start falling apart,
come on now.
they all scatter and they leave you to figure it out by yourself. What do you stand? That's the question. What do? You just stop and quit believing in yourself and the vision that God has given you? Or do you really go back to the creator who gave it to you and get some more instructions? And that's really all I'm saying, is that we're teaching people, one thing I would say about what you all are just sharing is that I truly believe that whatever God has called us to be, he's already put us in the position to become it. And your background, everything that you've done up to that point is going to come in play. So even if my background wasn't that I was a hairstylist, but I had a county background, but the whole time that I worked at Ford Credit, I did Amway. I did it for the whole 30 years I was there. I believed in the system of having my own business. So I got training. I got mentored by millionaires. Actually, the same people who trained Steve Harvey was my mentor in that business. So you got to just think about it. When God puts you in a place, he never sets you up for failure. Everything you need, what you've already experienced, is going to come into play. And then what you need to go forward will come on an as needed basis. So you can't say, I'm going to do that when I can see how that's going to happen for me. You'll never get there. And meeting you, Kim, is a part of that, because where I'm at now, I needed to meet you. I didn't need to meet you 10 years ago. I didn't need to meet you 5 years ago. I need to meet you like now. Okay. Same way with Dr. Ham.
Let me tell you.
It would, I wasn't ready. It says that the student will appear, the teacher will appear when the student is ready. So, some of us are ready now because we have the mindset to realize that we need help, and so I just think all of us, whatever it is he's called us to do, don't try to copycat somebody else's. Just do what he's called you to do, because you can't duplicate that other person. You don't even have the anointing on your life to do it. It would kill you if you try to even attempt to do what that person did. Okay? So again, I think we all have our special expertise that God has given us, and that's what's so awesome about the Biz Hub.
Dr. Ham.
Good. And I agree with everything that's already been said. And I think in this day of coaching, this information age, or as we would say, and then everything that's happening online now, I do think that coaches are important. As a matter of fact, it was in coaching, I didn't even coach, I a coach. I was just seeking not to go back to work for somebody. So I knew I wanted to create my own income, and I started going to events. So my first experience with coaching per se was events. I would go and, and it exposed me to people that I otherwise would not have seen. And so what I want to say about coaching is, because I think we have to be very careful with that. And going back to what Deborah said in her journal, ask God. I think that God has already put everything in us that we need. So my belief is that the student will, as Deborah just said, when the student is ready, the coach will appear, or the information that we need will come. But we have to be careful, because also what I see a lot of is that you have a lot of coaches that want to leave God out of the equation. And me personally, I think if it's going to be effective, it's almost like going to a soothsayer. You got to be careful in that, because it can derail the vision that God has given you, and it can derail the direction that God is taking you. Because I personally got caught up in that. Oh, I need a coach. So I was running here, I was running there. And I found out I started listening to people, Deborah, and I wasn't listening to God. So that is the caution that I bring to the coaching, the mentoring. Don't allow that to become the only voice, or to replace God's voice, is what I would have to say. So make sure that you're being led by God in whatever you're doing, and God will direct you to the people that you need to go to. So for instance, as Kim was saying earlier, accountability. Now, as you're growing in your vision, there's going to come a place that you need accountability. So we just heard today, we can reach out to Miss Kim, and she already has connection with an accountability coach. Time management, the same way. Money management. Okay, I'm trying to build $1 million business, but I don't even know how to manage my paycheck. So now I need a money coach. I need somebody to come in that can help me. And, me in particular, I deal with money emotions, because a lot of people are trying to build $1 million empires, but they have the wrong relationship with money. And I used to run track back in the day. If you start a race and you come off on the wrong foot, or you don't come out the right way, then as you can get into the race, you're still going to run the race, right? But it's going to determine your speed. It's going to determine your agility. It's going to determine your ability to be able to endure in that race. And so I believe we got to have a new conversation around money, because a lot of times, and I heard this from one of my mentors last week, and said, you know what? People think they know what it is, but they don't know what it does. And so a lot of times we just associate money, we clump it all together. Time management, we clump it all together. Accountability, we just clump it all together, because we think we know what it is, but we don't know what it can do for us at certain stages of our life. So the time management that I needed to be a mom, now that my kids are grown, is not the same time management I need today. So you have to go back in. How I manage my money as a single person is not going to be the same way that I manage my money as a married person. You see what I'm saying? So as our goals change, our lifestyles change, as things begin to change, what I needed in one season of my life is not necessarily. So just because I knew what goal setting was then, or I knew what money management was then, doesn't mean I know what it is now in this new place in my life. So what am I saying? Don't discount coaches. Don't discount mentorship, because you're going to need that all of your life. You're going to need at different stages to grow and go to the next level. And I'm going to close by saying this. I remember the first time I was in the room with billionaires, like literal billionaires. It blew my mind, because they were auctioning time to spend with these billionaires. And I'll never forget, one of my mentors, Dr. Anna McCoy, stood up to put her bid in. And I think she bid something like $20,000. And she said, because I'm a multimillionaire, but in order for me to get to billionaire, I need to spend some time with a billionaire. I need to spend time with somebody who's there and who has done it. And that changed my life. It changed my thinking. And it just, money is not an option when it comes to investing in your growth, or should I say, money shouldn't be a consideration when it comes to investing in your growth, because to get to that next level, you got to be willing to invest in yourself. And so, yes, there is a need for coaches. Just make sure that you don't replace God's voice with their voice, and make sure that you don't think that because you knew what it was in a previous season, that it's the same thing in this season, because we're constantly growing and going.
Awesome.
Woo!
Wow.
You know what?
Awesome talk.
Awesome. You ladies are just knocking it out the park today, you know. You really are, because the thing is that we definitely need to get in a position that, and it is so many people out there that are just doing a weekend coaching strategies and things like that. Then they come and try to mentor you, coach you. So you need to know that these people have been in there, that are doing what they know. We got all these ladies on here today. There are women that can speak into your life, amen, that can coach you into the next space that God is getting ready to take you to. And one of the things that I done when I was doing this book, The Master Ego Planning System, is one of the things that we have in there is that your daily, starting out every day, and making sure that you have your agenda for the day. But the first part of your day is your meditation.
Yes.
Your meditation.
Yes.
You know, what are you going to, you know, before you get into your business day, you first need to talk to God. You need to first talk to him, get his agenda for the day.
Yes.
Get his a strategy for today. And then you can go and plan the rest of your day, the rest of your year, and get the first most three important things. This is what we got. The most three important things that you need to do. Sometimes we try to put too many tasks on the day and try to do too much for the day. If you put three important things on your day, come on now. Stop trying to put 10, 15, and 20. Put the three most important things and ask God which one that you should do first, and start working toward. If anything else, if you got hours left the rest of the day, then guess what? That's your bumper hours, and do something with what your bumper hours are for that day. But start your day off with meditation. I start my day off every day with meditation, asking God. And sometimes I just don't do the talking myself. They got, you got Cindy Trim, we got Miles Monroe. Come on, we got all these people out there.
Yes.
We
Love
can
Miles
listen
Monroe.
to. Every morning I listen to Miles Monroe. I listen to Cindy Trim, Commanding Your Morning, Entrepreneur's Prayer in the morning times. Hey, I even got a recorded. Dr. Ham don't even know this, but I even got a recorded Dr. Ham speaking.
Awesome.
And I plug my sister in and let her talk to me, because I have all these great women in my life that I allowed to mentor me, I allowed to speak to me, and I looked the other day, I'm going to find me a coach. I'm going to start coaching some pastors, because I find out that there's some pastors that really need help on how to pivot in this moment. My husband told me, my deceased husband, let me start saying it right. My deceased husband told me years ago, he said, you need to be coaching. You need to be talking to people that are in ministry, and ladies that are starting out in ministry. And then he told me, he said, you need to be coaching people in business. And, when Deborah was talking about when you make that money, when I made my first million in the janitorial business, I had so many friends.
Yes.
So many people. I had a daycare center and my janitoria, and I had so many people and so many pastors and so many Christians that was coming to me, but they weren't coming to me to learn or to get in business. They was coming for my money. They was coming for what I could give them, and not what I could teach them and show them what to do, but they wanted the money. They didn't want me. That just like it was Jesus. They came for the fishes and the loaves. They didn't come to learn how to extend the kingdom of God. They just came for to be healed or to get another mouthful of food or to move on. But, God wants us to sit and he wants us to learn and to be in his presence. And he wants us to increase. Jesus came increasing the kingdom of God, not just for me, my family, and no more. He came, and everyone that Jesus pulled out was business owners. He didn't go to anybody that was sitting around hoping and guessing, and maybe I wonder, and I got a great idea, but I don't know what to do. He went to men that was out there fishing, out there business, out there that knew that they were called to do something. They didn't know what they were called to do, but they knew they had to be busy, and they was busy already. And my mom told me something years ago. She said, you're going to already be doing what God has given you the talent to do. You don't have to go for it or hope it. If you're doing it, then that's the talent that God has given you and have put on the inside of you. Well, I'm a talker. So he put a preacher on the inside of me, a teacher on the inside of me. I'm a connector. So he put that on the inside of me. I can connect you and not even think about it. I remember meeting Mr. Robinson at a conference. And he owned the Robinson Hotels. And so a friend of mine was wanting to build a hotel. So I walked up to him and I said, I need to introduce you to a friend of mine who wants to build a hotel. He said, so what do you want from me? I said, I don't want nothing from you. I don't need nothing from you. And he looked shocked. I said, I just need your number for my friend. I don't want your number. He said, well, where you live at? I said, I live in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan. And he said, Grosse Pointe Park. He gave me his personal address and phone number because of my personal address. Hello?
Mhm.
Okay.
Hello? This millionaire, billionaire, gave me his personal information. And then I said, okay, I don't want a number that was going to reach a secretary, and I got to go to 5 secretaries to get to you. He said, oh, no, honey, he said, dial it right now. I dialed the number and it was ringing in his pocket. He said, that's my pocket. That's me. He said, and you tell your friend to call me. Introduced him to a millionaire, come on, just by me walking up and not being afraid to give where I live at. Come on. So it meant where I lived at that I was not over there hoping and guessing. It meant where I lived that I had to be living in a house. I had to be living in something that not cost $100,000, but $1 million. So I'm telling you, is your address. Your address would even make rooms for you to meet a millionaire. Come on. I didn't want his number. Thank God I got his number, but I didn't want his number. And I never used this number. I only used his number to give it to someone else. But when God tells me to do it, I'm going to use it because I have a relationship. I keep calling, I keep texting him and saying, hey, just checking on you to see how you doing this week, this month. Hey, hope things are going well. He'll write back, text back, things are going good. Keeping that relationship. Just like when I met my girlfriend and she said, I want to introduce you to Dr. Dudley. And I'm going, whoa, the sure enough real Dr. Dudley. Hello, the real Dr. Dudley. And she said, yeah. So I met him and we had him on the Biz Hub and we did a program with Dr. Dudley on the Biz Hub. And so we put the phone down, he called me back late that night and, and I go to sleep at like 9 o'clock. Dr. Dudley called me at 10:30. What are you doing? And I wanted to say sleeping. I said, I'm doing
Wrong answer.
He said, so what are you going to do next?
Wow.
And I said, well, Dr. Dudley, I was sleepy. He said, you can sleep anytime, young lady, but I'm talking to you on what you're going to do next.
Sleep when you're dead.
Whoa! And I'm going, oh my God, I got to have an answer of what I'm going to do next. So then he said, this is what you need to start. That he started immediately pouring into my life at 10:30 at night. And he went for an hour. Come on, you guys. He went for an hour, poured into my life, telling me my next step. This is what your next step should be.
Mm.
I'm telling you, I got off that phone. I was shaking. I just talked to a millionaire at 10:30 at night, and he took a whole hour out of his life, come on, to talk to me. That was so amazing to me. Never saw my face, just was introduced to him by someone else. And he came on our Zoom meeting, talked on there, and he said, I enjoyed myself. Now, what are we doing next? So what is your next in life? That's what I want to tell you. You got all these ladies on here today. We're talking to you guys. We're trying to pull you to your next level, to your next place, to that next thought, to transforming your mind from just thinking that I'm sitting on the sideline and COVID didn't hit me. COVID have hit all of us. COVID had hit the world. It's hit the world. But we should not allow COVID or anyone to dictate our next move. Our next move should be dictated, strategized only by God. And Him telling you what your next move should be. And I want to say this is that every time I get on the phone with Dr. Dunn or Dr. Bailey or with Kim, I never get off the phone without having a conversation about God. I'm going, these folks, you can perpetrate so long that you got a relationship. Come on. And my mom said, watch the end of a person, watch the beginning of a person conversation, and then watch the end of it. If it starts out with God, it ought to end with God. Mm-hmm. Now, if it starts out with God and in the middle it shake, and then at the end it never gets back with God, then you know something is wrong with that person relationship. So, ladies, this is our last conversation. Let's talk about just for a few minutes your takeaway on how are we to move on, and can we move on in anything that we're going to do in this season without God? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to, again, the whole Dudley philosophy, like Mr. Dudley had mentioned to us, the products was just the vehicle.
Thank you.
And you can't do anything without God. And the way that you will know is God will put you in the right place at the right time. And all God's gifts come through people.
Amen.
All God's gifts come through people.
Amen.
This was no mistake. I have been thinking about who I'm going to have on our series that can talk about money, having no idea that I was going to meet Dr. Ham today.
Thank you. We give you what you need on an as-needed basis.
And Diane gave me the choice. She said, you can come on today, you can come on next week. I said, I'll be on today. Wow. Not knowing and just following, God gives the increase. He will tell you, that Holy Spirit every time will tell you what your next move is. And I said to Pastor Diane, I said, I'll be on today. I'll be on at 11:45 and I'll be ready for 12. Yeah. So ladies, it was as we say, a plum pleasing pleasure to be here.
Right, Les Brown.
And what we always close with in our meetings at Dudley Products, in our time and in our space, and with the grace of God, you and I can make a difference.
Hey,
thank you, ladies.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I think a lot has been said here, and all you can do is basically, sum it up and know that, again, our answers come from God. He just uses people, and all of us, based on what your purpose is, your calling and your assignment, God gives you the people you need for what you need to do. But I have never been driven to go after money. I've been purpose driven. And I think because of that, I don't get caught up in titles, positions, or any of those things. Those things to me are very, in fact, I think they can hurt you more than they can help you, although you're going to get it if you're doing something. But you can't get caught up in those things. You have to be so laser focused on what your calling is, your purpose, and your assignment. Because he's always going, like he says, your gift will make room for you. It's going to put you in places you never would have dreamed of. But you still have to always remember who you serve and why you're doing what you're doing. And if you're really doing it because of God called you, it's going to entail you helping other people. It's not even about you. It's not about anything you have. And you're going to have nice things. Don't get me wrong. You're going to live nice if you're doing, you should, if you're really doing the work of God, but it's not for those things. It's the purpose that he has for you on your life to go out and help someone else. And I truly believe that if you stay focused on your assignment, your purpose, your calling, all these other things will be added to you because you put him first.
I guess that brings me next.
That's you.
Well, listen, that is my whole mantra in life. God, we can't do anything without God, and God won't do anything without us, right?
Say that again.
Yes, we can't do anything without God. He powers the whole system, and he won't do anything without us. And so I believe that our first base of any vision, of any business, of anything that we're going to do to serve humanity, it begins with a vision from God, and it begins with hearing from God, because anything else, we'll be able to go for a while, but eventually the energy will run out. Or when we come up against difficult situations, we won't know how to bounce back. And that's why you see people commit suicide, because they're going in their own strength or off of the strength of other people. And some kind of way God got left out of that equation. So I encourage you, in whatever you're doing, keep God first, and definitely keep the Biz Hub, because I love what you're doing here, Apostle Washington, and bringing us together. And I think this is a time now more than ever that we have to listen, we have to open up, and we have to support each other. I believe that more than anything, that if we're going to go forward, we need God, but we also need each other. So I'm excited and delighted to be here. Honored to meet you today, Miss Kim, and can't wait until we can talk further offline as well. So I appreciate Deborah. I love you like a sister, and just appreciate what's happening here, and how this could be a first step for a lot of people to get the information or to get the encouragement that you need, because we all need some encouragement right now, to keep going or to get started. And if you already started, to keep going. So God bless everybody. And, just praying the best. If we all winning, I heard this a couple of years ago at a conference, but if we all winning, ain't nobody losing.
Ain't nobody losing.
I like that.
I love that. And it is so true that we need each other in this time and season. And so that is why I came up with the midweek. Amen. Because in the middle of the week, sometimes it's just hard to get over and get through Wednesday sometimes when you're in business. And because Thursday is coming. And if you were like me, when I was in business years ago, when I first started out in business, I didn't have that payroll. Ooh. And when you had 60 some people working for you, and you didn't have payroll for that Friday, you started get highs, anxiety, and everything else by the time Wednesday get it, because Thursday was next, and Friday morning you had to have that payroll. So to me, it was the hardest part to get through. And even when I had just started in business and I didn't have those 60 people that I had, when I just had 4 or 5, just in the middle of starting a daycare center, I had 4 or 5 people that was counting on me for that Friday in the middle of the week. And then I would get mad on Friday. They said, every Friday, it seems like you're mad when you come in. And I said, yeah, because everybody getting a check with me.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's getting a check with me. Everybody have something that they could go away with but me. Yes. So when I went in, and I didn't even know Deborah by asking God, and that's been over 30 some years ago. But the Lord told me, he said, start paying yourself first.
Mhm.
Even if you don't cash it,
Mhm.
pay yourself first, that you feel like you're accomplishing something in life. So I'm telling somebody out there that you're struggling now trying to figure out how to get the payroll, middle of the week. Just go ahead and write yourself a check first.
Even if you can't cash it, huh?
Don't cash it. But it makes you feel so good
You got it coming.
that you got a check coming. It makes you
Like
feel
that.
so good that you trust in God that one day I'm going to be able to cash
Check.
this. One day I'm going to be able to sit down and cash this check. You
Amen.
know, I feel so good that I don't have to worry about things like that. And so I'm thanking God that at this time that we're at, in the middle of what we're in, we can all cash a check. We can all go to him. We can cash a check. We can do things that we need to do. Even in the middle of the week, we can be satisfied that God has us at the end of the week. So with that said, we're going to see you guys back here next week. And next week, Kim is going to be back on with us again, and she's going to bring some incredible people in the hairstyling. So if you know anybody that's in the hairstyling business, or anybody who's thinking about opening up a salon or anything like that, or anybody that even have a product that they're thinking about, maybe want to produce, get them. Tell them you need to be here next Wednesday so you can hear about how to move on, how to pivot in this moment. It's amazing how people are starting so many businesses in this pandemic. In
Yeah.
this pandemic, because some people are not going back to work ever again. They're going to start their business. And some of us who have just been making $16,000 to $20,000 a year, some of us are just going to move into that millionaire status, and some is going to move into that billionaire status out of a pandemic. Isn't that amazing? So you don't have to worry anymore. So come back next week. Come on. Promise I'll be back next week. Yes, I will.
Yes.
Lord, have
Back
me
next
here.
week.
I'll be
Yeah.
back next week so
Yeah.
we can hear what's going on. Phenomenal things is going to be going on next week. So as we leave the Biz Hub, we all like to say bye to you all, and we like to see you back next week.
Yes.
Bless you.
Bye.